And so I've been coming here for well over 65 years. And we've watched it change. We've watched development crowd in and more of the open spaces and the wooded spaces go away. So when we moved up here and had the opportunity to, we decided that we would buy this piece of property before it was developed.
I was fortunate enough to become a part of the Whidbey Camino Land Trust. We were involved with the Saratoga Woods Project, is how we got acquainted with the trust, and found out that donating land and preserving land is not an easy thing to do. You don't just say, this is preserved. You need a lot of legal assistance, you need help with how to plan it, what to do, how to organize what you're doing, and that's where the Land Trust came in. They helped us immensely. Conservation is very important to me. First of all, because I want something here for our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and because I absolutely love Mother Nature, and I love the birds, and I love the wild animals, and for them to have a place where I feel they can be protected and have their own habitat, it's very important.
And so now this piece of property will be as you see it now, except as nature changes it, no matter who owns it, forever and ever and ever.
So anyway. Wow. Oh, what a beautiful day. Do you want to stop and look at it? Yeah, where do you want to stop? Right over here? Yeah, I like that. Look at this holly. Wow. Yeah. Okay. This island is a jewel. And now here we are in a place that offers us, you know, just a chance to really be part of nature and feel closer to nature and be part of a community. That's another reason we joined the Land Trust, is that sense of community. And we're acting locally, which is one of those a philosophy of which if you act locally, you actually are participating globally in a very positive way. When I first came to Whidbey Island, one of the things that I loved about it was the fact that it was rural, it was countryside. It had a huge amount of stuff to offer as far as nature's concerned. Forest, trails, beaches, open meadows, farmland. So I became very interested in preserving this place. Not so much in the sense that I wanted to, pull up the drawbridge behind me now that I was here, but because I, having lived in Southern California, am so acutely aware of what happens to a place when just a few people start developing it. I tend to think of what Beatrix Potter did, because I'm a writer and because she was a writer. Beatrix Potter lived in the Lake District in England, and she invested her money over time in property all over the place in the Lake District. And when she died, she left all the property to the National Trust. And that's why the Lake District is the Lake District, because we're talking about vast areas of land. So when I became involved with the Land Trust, it was with that in mind, that I wanted to do my part to preserve a beautiful place.
Morning glory.
Why I donated this piece of property is that it was too big for me to manage myself. And I kept 4 acres out of the 22 and donated the rest of it, which was primarily wetlands, to the Land Trust. It seemed to me that the Land Trust was an appropriate group to give it to. It was also one of their very first pieces of property, so that was nice, both for them and for me. And it's been successfully managed. It's important to me to feel that an organization knows what they're doing professionally, one that can not only, in this case, manage the land acquisitions, but manage staff and the community in attaining those acquisitions. Trust for me is very important, and I trust these people, these guys, these folks a lot, and I've made my investments for that reason. What happens to a piece of land like an island, like Whidbey Island, if we don't protect it? I think we know what can happen to it. So protection has to happen. If we don't protect it, it's going to be gone. It'll be bought up, it'll be used in ways that do not serve the land in the best fashion.
I volunteer at the Land Trust because it's good community service, it's helping the planet, and it's conserving land for future generations to see, and it's letting people see Whidbey Island as it should be in nature. My dad was the one that first introduced me to Land Trust, bringing me to the Max Welton Land Preserve, where we dug up blackberries, and I enjoyed it, and so I came back for Hammonds and Kruger. For my Eagle Scout project, I'm designing a boardwalk at Hammonds Nature Preserve down in Coltis Bay. It'll be a 24 by 4 feet boardwalk over the wetlands that they have there, and will allow people to walk over the wetlands and see them up close, but not actually damage the wetlands. So I always feel good when I get done with a community service with the Land Trust, and I hope I'm here to see the 50th anniversary.
The reason my husband and I became involved in trying to save the Saratoga Woods is because we moved right next door to them, and so it was a very personal matter to preserve this beautiful part of the island that we moved to retire. The Land Trust, through their professional negotiator, were able to convince the owners of the property that through tax advantages they would be coming out financially almost as well as trying to sell it to developers, plus making them feel good about saving a very important piece of public land. They have a professional presence, a diplomatic presence, and they're just an organization I have a whole lot of confidence in, to the point where my husband and I, they're in our estate planning. They are the beneficiary of 25% of our estate, and it's important for us to publicize that. I don't want to really be private about it. In fact, it's in my will that it be publicized, because we want to encourage other people to do likewise.
Well, I never wanted to develop it. It fell right into my long-range plans. No, I wanted to keep it this as it is. So I got caught in a bunch of old-growth logging strikes when I was in my teens. And I said, I'm going to get a piece of property that they'll never log. That's my original goal when I was 18. I'm very firm about wanting to keep this the way it is. I'm not wanting to ever develop.
Well, I'm Sean Connor. I'm Harry Case's grandson. I've been coming out to the forest here for the last 20 plus years with my grandfather, and just been walking in his footsteps, learning how to manage the forest. And I'm pleased that the forest is now protected through the Land Trust. Having experienced this place, having grown up, I wouldn't want to see it any different. So now it's my responsibility and honor and privilege to carry on and maintain what my grandfather started.
Yeah.
Keep it forest forever.
I am at the same depth that they were. Well, we're saving it. We're sequestering carbon, and we're keeping it in forest forever. It is what we call it. The Land Trust has the development rights, which is fine. I never wanted the development. I always thought in terms of keeping it just as it is. This is good forest land. It's better than the average. It should not be torn up into 5-acre tracts.
My grandfather bought the place in 1946, at which time the trees on the property were 18 years old, the same age as my grandfather.
Yeah.
So right now you're looking at these trees that are 82 years old, same age as my grandfather.